I don't know. I guess like alt TikToker makes sense, but I've never like looped myself into that until that podcast. And they were like, no, you were like the alt girl. And songwriting and music is a lot more pretty artistic than me just scream crying on TikTok or something.
Hi, I'm Coco Mocoe. You're watching The Middle Row. Today we are saving a seat for Emmy and watching her music video, The Saddest Part. So before we talk about your music video, I got you some snacks. You said that you liked sour and then dark chocolate, which I feel like are two opposites.
They are.
But
I'm like a very tart, bitter type person, I feel like.
Same. I don't like anything like too sweet. And I went to 7-Eleven and I couldn't find any dark chocolate. And I asked the guy, I was like, do you have any dark chocolate? And then he showed me, like, literally not sponsored, these Kit Kats are the only thing.
I've never had dark chocolate Kit Kat.
So we're gonna just like try a quick dark chocolate Kit Kat.
Have you seen how Kourtney Kardashian eats Kit Kats?
No, what does she do?
Oh my God. I don't know the exact routine of it, but I'm pretty sure she like will bite the side, take the top off and like peel the wafer out. But like, it's kind of genius.
Like an Oreo. Yeah. Like almost like getting to the middle. Wait, that's so weird. I've seen like videos of people that do it to purposely go viral where they're like trying this Chipotle burrito and then they eat into it like sideways.
That's just so disturbing.
I like that you're holding yours like a cigarette. You're like, Kit Kat. Next thing that I got, which I've been really into, is, and you said you hadn't tried yet. It's like these like sour Skittles, but they're gummies.
I have never seen this. And
Have you tried?
I was obsessed with these, and I actually used to eat like bags until like the lining of my mouth. It was so bad, but it was addicting. Like, oh my God, sour icebreakers. You ever had those? Those are even worse.
Wait, icebreakers?
Yeah, the sour ones.
I've never had that.
I would indulge in those like it was supposed to be all eaten at once.
Oh my God. Okay, so.
Open these two.
No, those are for you. And all of these are for you as I'm like sticking my hand in. So those are the ones that we both like that literally like scrape the mouth.
Yeah.
And I would eat them too until it hurt. And then I'd like brush my teeth at the end of the night and I would like feel like the micro.
It hurts so bad.
So these are like the same, but they don't hurt as bad because they're like gummies. They're like almost like Sour Patch Kids kind of like. Are pretty good. Okay, for anyone who doesn't know that's watching, we filmed an episode. So some of, like, it just was in a different location, and I was like, I want you to have the same location as, like, Toa Bird and, like, Dylan Mulvaney. So we're redoing it, and something that I mentioned in the last interview that, like, caught you by surprise as well was that all roads lead to Famous Birthdays.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we met, like, years ago.
I was thinking about this again because I had a thing pop up from Famous Birthdays, and I was like, I can't believe that.
I was working at Famous Birthdays years ago, and it was, like, back before, like, bigger publications started, like, interviewing TikTokers and stuff. So we would always get, like, the first few interviews with people, them and, like, Flight House. And you and Ian Is Ugly came in, and I remember, like, people would ask me, they're like, who was, like, your favorite person who came in to film? And I'm like, Emmy. It was genuinely so funny. Do you remember like that time in your career? Like you kind of talked about it on the Plain Brie Cut podcast that I was listening to, but like you were kind of like this alt TikToker at the time that TikTok was rising. Like what was that like?
I've never like, I don't know, I guess like alt TikToker makes sense, but I've never like looped myself into that until that podcast. And they were like, no, you were like the alt girl. And I was like, okay, like I guess. I remember though, right when I like kind of started social media, I was like, I need a Famous Birthdays page. I don't know why I thought it was the craziest thing ever. I also was like 17, but I was like, that has to happen.
Then what has it been like putting out music? Do you feel like your audience is receptive to it? And what is the difference between like creating a video, which is truly itself its own art form, versus like creating a song?
Huge difference, I feel like, but also maybe not, because I feel like they're both, I guess in the way that I make videos, both very, I don't want to say vulnerable because that's kind of a dramatic for videos, but I do overshare and I am very emotional. So I mean, that kind of ties in to both things. I just think that songwriting and music is a lot more pretty. Like when it comes down to it, just like pretty artistic, better said than me just scream crying on TikTok or something. But actually I take back what I just said about them not being similar, and I'm a liar. And I think they're actually very similar maybe.
I do feel like there is, even the way like when you put something out, there's also, I think, this kind of like mental block that people have to get over where it's like, I always like want things to be reacted to a certain way, but like truly enjoying what you're creating is putting it out there and being like, I'm so happy with this that I don't even care how it performs. Like that's like when I know that I've created something good where I don't really even care. And then that always ends up being like the best content. I always say like, you want to make the videos or like make the music that you're really craving listening to, but like can't find anywhere else. And on that kind of note, is there any like musical inspirations that you have listened to where you're like, now that I'm going into the music side of things that I want to lean into?
Definitely like synth pop. I love weird stuff. I love Caroline Polachek. Definitely not even close to that, but like Caroline Polachek, the 1975, loving Girl in Red's new stuff.
Oh, and the Sabrina Carpenter verse? Or she's like, I'm going to sing now.
All 3 songs that are out right now, I feel like, I didn't really listen to Girl in Red before, but like the switch up that she's done, I think is awesome. So that's definitely in my brain right now. Yeah. But just fun, poppy, synthy, that type of stuff. Yeah.
And in terms of like, you know, half the battle as well with like now putting out music is eventually like performing live. Have you performed live yet? And also, is there any performance that you've seen in person where you were like, this like makes me like love music even more and like want to eventually be able to like perform it in this way?
I have not done a show yet. I've been practicing to do one. Good. It's just also a little, I mean, it's scary, but it's also just a weird in-between thing of like, okay, I have people that like me because of social media and like it translates to music or to my music on like Spotify, but in real life, I'm like, I don't know if that would happen yet. So that's what makes me nervous about live show stuff. When I was a teenager, my hobby was concerts. So it was like a crazy amount a month all the time because I just loved watching the way people perform. Yeah. And there's so many people that stick out. So, like, I definitely have a list. There's not just like one person I'm like, this is awesome. But my favorite thing is when I go to a show and there's an opener I haven't heard of and the opener like overdoes the like whoever show it is and I'm like, oh, holy shit. Like Jessie Reyez, I don't remember who she opened for. I had no idea who she was and I was like, holy shit, like this is insane. And then I became a huge fan after that. But just I think having a good live show is very important.
It really is. Like, I feel like it can convert new fans. Like what you were saying, one of my favorite things about music festivals is when you're walking around, like maybe you're going to like get a pretzel and you just like overhear someone like in a tent and you're like, who is this artist? That happened recently I was at Outside Lands last year and it was like me and my college friends and then we all had our boyfriends who are like very like straight like fratty bros and we were waiting for Lana Del Rey, so they were waiting with us and Conan Gray came on. So good. They would not stop talking like all weekend. They're like, Conan Gray is so good, like the yellow and black like outfit, and Conan Gray's album just came out, so I'm gonna text in the group chat and be like, all right boys, like your
is this recent?
It was Outside Lands like this past October or something. That all of them just fell in love with Conan Gray. And like out of all of the artists that we saw that weekend, Kendrick Lamar, everyone, they would not stop talking about Conan Gray.
He's so good.
So good. And he's really like taking this new lane that's like 80s with the new sound. And so back to like your music, I'm always so curious about TikTokers that make the jump because there's so many things you have to learn, like production and finding a label. What was that like?
I got kind of lucky. I had like before like the people I'm with now, I had like reach outs from random people and like one of them was this like emo label and I'm like, what am I gonna do with that? But I kind of like avoided a bunch of things. Yeah. A, because it was scary and I don't know a lot, but B, just it didn't feel right. But then God Mode is who I'm with right now and I had just been posting covers on like TikTok and stuff and they reached out and they're like, oh, like we'd love to have a meeting. And then I made it really clear, I'm like, I don't know how to produce. I've never been in a studio, like I'm not that great at songwriting yet, like all this stuff, but they basically taught me everything and like were very patient and I am so grateful for them. So I really did just kind of get lucky with my situation because I know a lot of people have to just kind of figure it out on their own and then use their platform to do that, but I got very lucky.
When you did your music video that we just watched, you had a really interesting story about it where it was meant to be just one of those Spotify loops.
Yeah.
So what happened with that?
So I was under the impression that it was just going to be like this looped video for each song. And on our way to go film it, I'm like, this is for Spotify, right? And he was like, yeah. And then the day before it comes out, he sends me a Dropbox and there's a link and it says Saddest Part music video. And I was like, what the fuck do you mean, the Saddest Part music video? I mean, it's awesome and it's great. I didn't have any like planning for it, I guess. Like I chose location and stuff, but there was not really a plan for it, which I think is the best because I would have overdone something or like thought way too hard into it. But also I'm not like lip syncing a lot in the video because I'm like, oh, it's just gonna be looped. Like I can't lip sync a loop. So I don't know. It's very easy, I guess.
There's this like looped grass. And like, how did you find that location?
Somebody posted it on TikTok and then they're like, I'm not telling anyone where it is. And then we searched Swirly Grass Hill, I'm pretty sure. And then it was at some college. Maybe don't go there though, because I don't know if you're supposed to, because I was getting yelled at in my comments for this because I found it again the other day because I was like at a dog park and I was driving. I was like, oh, it's right there. But then everyone's like, this is private. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. So maybe don't do it.
Like private property?
I guess, but it's on like, it's outside on a street.
Yeah.
Like I think it's a college, but it's like on a main road. So I'm like.
I get like so stressed about that kind of stuff. Like I've posted videos where I'll say, oh, okay, randomly, I posted a video about have you ever been to Knott's Berry Farm?
No.
Do you know what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. It's this like theme park in Orange County and my boyfriend used to work there. So we know like every little like cool thing you can do. And I went and it was like 10 p.m. Like we were so sweaty and tired after a long day. And I'm like, let me just make a TikTok about this one store that's kind of like hidden in this one part of the park. And like you go in, you pick out a rock and then they like saw it open for you and there's like crystals inside. And I made the video and it got like over 4 million views in a day. And my boyfriend was like, they're so overwhelmed. Like so many people ended up like showing up now. Yeah. And they even had to post a video in response to my video. And I felt so bad. And I mean, I think it was enjoyable, but whenever I get, what I'm trying to say is like, I get afraid to post content that's like location based because I'll always get comments that are like, this is like a secret, like no locals only. And I'm like, oh my God, time and place.
I've just kind of learned that I'll post whatever. I'm not telling anyone to do anything.
Yeah.
Like whatever.
Yeah.
I just had a moment of posting something and then everyone's like, don't tell people to do this. I'm like, I literally told you not to do it.
Yes. Now leading into the future, is there a moment that you are striving for? Like, are you like, I want to like perform in this certain theater or I would love to get, you know, a collaboration with someone? Is there any like kind of North Star for you right now?
I have 2 places that I would love to perform, which is House of Blues in Cleveland, just because that's one of the places I went to the most.
You grew up there?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Lollapalooza, because I've been going every year since I was like 17, I think, and it's my favorite place ever.
It's Chicago, right?
Yeah.
I've never been. If you could like go through the screen and be like, I want you to know this about me as you start watching my music that you might not know from like the surface. Is there anything you would want to say to someone?
I feel like I'm pretty out there with everything. I was going to say that I'm emotional, but it's pretty obvious. I think that anything anyone needs to know is already out there.
Okay. And also, I just started asking all my guests this too. Do you know what your sun, moon, and rising is?
Oh my God, I had to write this down for something yesterday. I don't know any of this, but my main thing's Cancer.
Okay, Cancer. Okay.
I think maybe something is Aquarius.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that.
I actually don't know it all though.
Okay. I almost like want to like look it up. Wait, let me look it up. Or no, we'll wait. We won't. I'm like, what's your social security number? No. Okay, Cancer makes sense though for your main because they are like the ones that are tapped into emotion.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming in again.
Thank you.
Yay. Thank you so much for watching this episode of The Middle Row with Emmy Hartman. Comment down below what artist that you want me to save a seat for and watch their music video. And you can also follow the playlist on Spotify where I will be posting new music that I'm enjoying weekly and some Easter eggs of upcoming guests. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe and turn on the notifications so you don't miss an episode. Bye.